And whereas the previous tool displays a perspective through simple view manipulation, MicroStation's camera tool uses a virtual camera to generate a perspective from any location in relation to the object. The camera also has a selection of lenses, ranging from fisheye to telescopic, and it's always in focus. Now we're discussing basic camera controls here in this video, with more detailed information being presented in the next video series. Now you need to display the Setup Camera tool on your View Controls bar, and it is this tool here. And you might not have it visible in your View Controls bar. If not, then again, right-click and make it active. Now I'm going to select that, and let's take a look at the actual camera itself. Look at the Tool Settings window, and here we see that we can select a series of lenses. Now right now you can't drop this down because we haven't selected a view. We won't do that for a moment. Or if you don't want to select one of the standard lens types, you can set up your own lens with an angle and a focal length. Camera height and target height we won't be dealing with very much, but those two values raise or lower the camera or the target point above the chosen location for the camera. Before we start, I want you to draw what you see on the screen. A very simple building, but we're going to use this building very extensively in the Module 16 and 17 video series. So it's very important that you draw this. Besides, it gives you quite a nice model, both for camera setups and for materials too, which we'll be discussing in great detail later. So you will find a file in your Working Files folder called simplebuilding.pdf, which gives you all the information and dimensions. But what you're looking at basically is a floor slab, a chimney, walls, and a roof system. All of them assemble into this. And let me color this for you. And let's do a quick rotation just to see what we're actually looking at. And we see that it's a very, very simple basic house drawing. So do that first and then get back when you're finished, and we'll carry on with the camera tool. Now that you have your house in place, we need to start looking at applying the camera. Now I'm going to change my model here to the same thing, but without the 4 individual items being displayed. Now right now I'm in isometric. Now the camera is very simple to operate. Having selected the view to display the camera output, we'll do that in a second, and having set the appropriate camera options, again we'll do that in a second, all that's needed are 2 data points. One is the camera location, and one is the target that the camera is looking at. Now placing the target data point is relatively easy, since you can just snap to a part of the house itself. On the other hand, the camera location is a little more difficult since this is a point in 3D space. You could locate it using AccuDraw, but a better option is to place a construction line to provide an exact and permanent location for the camera. So let's do that right now. I'm going to switch to construction. Let's change the color to, say, red. And I'm going to draw a couple of lines. So we need the line tool. There's the front corner. I need the top rotation, and notice I'm in the polar compass. And I want a line that's round about 70 foot long. Now that's 21,000 millimeters if you're working in metric. So let's enter 70 at the keyboard. So there's my 70-foot line. The data point for that. Then I'm going to change rotation again and go vertically. I need a height of about 6 feet or about 1,800 millimeters. Which is slightly above eye level, but that's okay. I'll type 6 in. There's my line. Data point to accept that, and right-click. So now I have the camera location. Now this height is actually important because, as I mentioned, it's slightly above eye level. And eye level is your horizon line. So that is a significant part of this exercise. So we have everything in place. So we'll start the camera tool. And the first prompt is to select the active view. Well, that's this view, data point in the view. Now we can select a camera lens. So I select the wide camera lens. Because I've done that, these 2 boxes are grayed out. Don't care about these 2 because I have my camera set where I want it. And we follow the prompts. So the next thing to do is to select the location of the camera as per the prompt, which will be that point there. And then we'll be prompted to select the target point, which will be, in this case, the midpoint of that front edge. Select the camera location there. Then we select the front edge, which is the target point, and we data point. and immediately the view switches to a perspective view. And if we shade that, that's what we see. So imagine yourself standing at that camera location, looking at this house, and your eyes are basically fixed at the midpoint of the front edge here. This is what you would typically see. Now this is a 3-point perspective, and you can tell that by the jagged lines here. And if you look closely, you'll see that those vertical corners are actually sloping inwards. Now this is absolutely correct for 3-point perspective. Now your eyes see this, but they typically filter it out in a real-life situation. Now, if that works successfully for you, then you should really experiment by photographing the house from different directions and at different distances and heights. Use different lenses and different target points. If you keep in mind that you're operating a virtual camera almost identical to a real camera, you'll be able to understand the results you get. So try that now. This is a very important tool, and we'll be using it quite a bit in the future.